Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be
long a toddler has been missing in Savannah.
And when you come around, and it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Where is Cody?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Come on in. I was, hey, say what? Is in the building. How you doing? Hey, Lisa Taylor. Hey, Ruby. I see Freddie done came up in here. Missed you, girl. Ain't been seeing you around. But Lisa Calhoun, how are you? Nancy LaRose is in the building. I said Lisa Taylor, and Ruby Turner. How you guys doing? It came on a little bit early, but it's always good. I was looking at some stuff, you guys, and I wanted to share some with you. She says, I'm good. Hope you are well. I am good. I am good. Nice to see you. Yes. That's Say What is in the building. Everybody make sure you speak to Say What. Anyway, you guys, I want to share an update with you. Before we get into this conversation, I told you I wanted to go on and talk about another case. It's already ended. They done went to court. They done went to trial. And we're going to talk about a little bit. They found the man guilty, but we're going to talk about that. But I want to give you an update. And it's not something, I mean, it's a trial that we're waiting and watching on. But I also want to tell you that on the Tyreek Nichols case, guess what's happening down there in Memphis, you guys? You wouldn't believe it. They're throwing out so many of the cases down there that if the Scorpions arrested some people, they're throwing them cases out. They're saying a guy came on the news just the other day and said he was arrested a month prior to when Tyree were killed down there. And they threw all his stuff out. And he said, they tried to pin a gun charge on him. And they said that they smelled marijuana. And he was just standing there and he was walking. And oh my goodness gracious. So the lawyers are saying, hey, if there's 3 or 4 of them scorpions and you guys just arrested this guy and you just arrested this person and this woman, she almost lost her job because of the situation. Like I told you, if I get arrested, I'm basically going to lose my job. They're going to wait until I go to court and everything, but they're going to suspend me from work until they figure out how I even interacted with the police and what was being said and what is the charges. And this woman, and she must be working in some field where, just like I am, that, hey, you can't have drug charges. You can't have battery charges, domestic violence charges. You can't have all of that. And so when people want to start arguing and fighting, I walk away. Believe me, I walk away real quick because first thing, now if I had a regular job or something, you know what I do? I'll probably stand there but some people be thinking, oh, she's scary. She's scary. That's what it is. She's scary. It ain't that I'm scared. Because if I think it's worth it, I'll take you there. But I don't think it's worth it. I don't think, you don't have nothing to lose. I have a lot to lose. So therefore, I just walk away and call it a good day. You can win that argument. You can win the fight. A matter of fact, I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm not even going to argue with you. When they get to start, blah, 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 let's talk about it. Blah, 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 blah. Some people get mad at me and they be like, no, let's talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about it because you getting all angry and upset and hollering and arguing. And people be like, oh, SP, you be hollering and arguing. No, I do not. Now, what it is my voice might raise a little bit, trying to get you to, hey, let me speak too, because I'll sit there and stand and listen to you. But what I will not do is let you just cuss me out and call me all kind of names. I'll walk away. I will walk away. So that's always the best way to handle things. And it doesn't make you a scary person. It just makes, there's always another day, but right today, I got too much to lose. I got too much invested in what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to get. Instead of getting a message to you, if you didn't understand me the first time, me spending the next 5, 10, 20 minutes arguing with you is not going to change anything. Hey, Tina Paris, how you doing? Come on in. I know I'm a little early, but it's all good. So you guys, down there in Memphis, they're throwing out all those charges. There's so many people, and I'm trying to find out. I know I got this on here, but let me just see if I can find a little bit of it. I've been looking for other stuff. Memphis, Tyree's case, Tyree. But that's what they're doing, and they just put that on the news, and I don't know if you guys see it. It says, okay, here it is right here. Tyree Nichols, DA, drops more than 30 cases involving former officers. So let me see what it's going to say here. When was this? This was in August, but there was one recently. I'm going to try to find the recent one. They just did this a couple of days ago, too. So let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. But I'm telling you, they first dropped 30. Now they're dropping like, I think they said it was close to a dozen. So that's like 40, 42, 45, between 45 and all of that. I can't find it now. I wasn't on my phone. I was actually on the computer when it came up and getting ready for everything. You know. Okay. So anyway, hey Valerie, how you doing? I see you in the building. So anyway, I'm gonna move right on along here. I want to share with you, if you guys do not know, we'll get right off into the topic. We're talking about this man. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a guy, his name is Timothy Ferriter. You know, they call him Ferriter. Timothy Ferriter. And I guess he adopted this kid, and the kid is from a whole different country, but he's they brought him over here when he was about 1 year old, adopted this kid, and he kept this kid locked in a room. They saying that the kid was so messed up in the head, they didn't know what to do. So what he did was he made a room in the garage, no windows, no venting, a room in the garage, put a camera on the top of the light thing so that he could talk to the guy. And you guys are going to have to go and listen to some of this. I've been trying to figure out what did we do so we can just share that. And I know it's something about the tabs and stuff like that. And my daughter showed me and all that other stuff. Now I forgot how to do it because we haven't done it in a long time. But I can at least share with you guys the pictures until I remember what I was doing. But I'm going to share with you the picture in the room that he was in that they had made. Let's see it. Let's see. We can do it right here. Okay. Okay. I'll put me in the corner. So this room that you guys seeing is the room that he kept this kid in for years. This right here is Timothy. He was on trial, 3 charges. I'm going to read something to you. You guys are not going to believe what I'm going to read. Tina said, Timothy makes me sick. It was like a jail, no AC. Okay, now, so let me read it to you. So Timothy Ferriter took a deep breath just before the verdict was read in his aggravated child abuse trial. Guilty on all 3 charges. Way to go, Timothy. Way to go. I'm glad. Because let me tell you something. If he wouldn't have went to trial, he could have took a 2-year plea. Okay, y'all think I'm lying. Okay. Y'all think I'm lying. Okay, let me move him over a little bit. You think I'm lying. I'm not. Trust and believe. Let me move over. Okay. So Timothy thinks that him and his wife think he did the right thing. What he should have done is took the plea deal. You lock this kid up in a 8x8. You know what 8x8 is? If you stand up and you 5 feet, just take 3 more inches on up, and that's 8. Now, if you lay down and stretch out 3 more feet, well, I said 3 more inches, but 8x8. Okay, that's not big. It's as big as a closet. It's probably as big as your bathroom. This is what this kid had to stay in. And I don't know how long he stayed in it, but let me read it to you, you guys. Timothy took a deep breath just before the verdict was read in his aggravated child abuse trial. Guilty on all 3 charges. Timothy stared straight ahead as the verdict was read. His wife, Tracy, dissolving into his tears. I don't know why this will not go. Okay. That's Timothy's wife right there. I don't know what happened to it. It just went away. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, maybe it'll move on. His lawyer says they didn't expect. They thought that they were going to win, you guys. They thought they were going to win. Okay. We're devastated at what happened. This is what they said in court. I mean, after court, this is what they said. They said, we're devastated at what happened. This is a man with a wife and a family and no criminal record, and he's lost his children. And we really believe some of the rulings were unfair to the defense. The jury listened to 7 days of testimony. The boy got on there, and I'm going to tell you something. He knocked me off my socks. Why? He was very articulate. He knew exactly everything that has happened to him. He went into details. He didn't stutter. He didn't cry. Listening to the kid and how this kid lived in this box, because that's what it was, a box. No bigger than your car. Put it like that. No bigger than your car. This is what he lived in. He had a desk in there, and he had a mattress. That's it. And a bucket so he could pee and poop in. That's it. So the jury listened to this about 7 days. The most damaging were hours of Ring camera video. This guy literally took the Ring camera that you put on the outside of your door, and he hooked it up to the light up on top so he can have communication with this guy. He said there you go, smarty pants. Good job. Oh, you tore that up. Good job. Cussing them out, calling them names and everything. It was horrible. You guys don't understand what I'm saying. It was horrible just to listen to how he talked to this kid and mocked this kid. And he was like, you wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for us. Like we're doing you a favor. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I was listening to it today. It is on Court TV. We don't have to announce it in the chat, but I'm just letting you guys know. If you want to go and follow up and look it up and see what all was happening, it will be on Court TV. You guys will be able to follow it and go back and look at it. But all the videos from the Ring camera, you can't even get rid of it. This man decided to put the Ring camera for the communication, and this is what got him locked up. And then when they read the charges, he didn't move. He just stared straight ahead. His wife was behind him. But guess what, baby? You're next. She goes to trial next. And if they found him guilty, they're going to have to find her guilty too. Because you can't find one guilty. So she's really not crying for her husband. She's actually crying for herself. Because I guarantee you, they're going to put that into the conversation. Your husband was found guilty. Now, what she should have did, what this reminds me of, what this reminds me of is a story in the Bible where Ananias and her husband, or whatever, Ananias and Ananias and his wife going to the church and saying that they did something that they didn't do, was to sell their property or whatever. Everybody, if you know Bible and all this other stuff, you know what I'm talking about. And you have a chance to tell the truth. And Ananias did not. You can look it up in your Bible. I won't tell you something, but I tell you, I love stories. So, I can't tell you where it is. Somebody go look it up real quick. Put it in the chat where you find the story I'm talking about with Ananias. And Ananias went to the church and said, yes, we sold all our stuff and everything. Gave him a chance to tell the truth. Still didn't tell the truth. Guess what? He fell dead right there in the church. While they were taking him out the church dead, they let Ananias' wife know, your husband just got stricken dead in the church by lying. So when she come in the church, they was like, hey, did y'all really do this? Did y'all really sell all your property and everything and give everything in? That's when all the tents and stuff, which a lot of people don't understand about putting your tents into the church and why you should do it, is so that, if somebody needed something, then they have the money to do it. Why they do it now, I couldn't tell you why. It's a whole different ballgame. But that's why they did it back then. But I don't know why they do it now. They still got people giving a tenth, but you can, I mean, I'm not gonna down the church. I'm not down. I'm down in church people because you give your tenth now and your lights get cut off, you just gonna be in the dark. I'm just saying that's some places. It all depends on how much you're in the church and dedicated, and and those type of people can't work. So therefore, you don't have a tenth to give. But that's how that works. But anyway, the jury listened for 7 days. The most damaging was the hours of Ring camera video that Timothy himself recorded of his 14-year-old son confined to a small windowless structure in the Jupiter garage, where he was locked in for 10 to 15 hours a day with only a bucket for a bathroom. It was absolutely important, there is witness testimony, and we had really credibility witness testimony in this case. But there's absolutely nothing better than being able to show the jury exactly what happened and let them see it for themselves. So when they showed those videos, those jurors were in tears. How the kid still had the same voice, but he was kind of really humble the whole entire time. Timothy was talking to him. He was talking to him. There you go. Lisa Calhoun said it's in Acts 5, you guys. I know Acts is one of the ones I really love. I need to get back in my Bible because I like Acts. But anyway, wow. Thank you, Lisa Calhoun. She said that story is right there in Acts. Come on. So while Timothy was being fingerprinted, handcuffed, and ready for jail, his wife, Tracy, mouthed one last message. She said, she said, "I love you, Timothy." She said, "I love you." And then she faces her own fate, you guys. She's going to have trial for her part in the boy's confinement. Now, the boy did get on the stand, and he said that it was mainly Timothy. That's what he said. It was mainly Timothy. But she was okay with it, and they made sure to let it know. She was okay with it. If Timothy said, "Hey, we're going to take him to the country," the wife said, "Take him to the country." He did the punishment, and the boy said he heard him talk about building his room. All the other kids was okay, but this kid, they treated this kid bad. So Timothy's lawyers say they plan to appeal. They all plan to appeal. That the couple was at their wits' end dealing with a troubled child and tried to handle the problem themselves. That doesn't mean this is how you handle the problem. You lock the kid up into it'd be different if you just locked him in his room. Just give him a whole freaking room, Hey, Margie, how you doing? She says, "I have a question." What is your question? What's your question, Miss Margie? Look at all beautiful. Then they say, "I don't have that answer for you." They said, they said, "Where did he get the idea to build a confinement type room in the garage?" So the news was asking the attorney, why was he out without a bond? Why was he out without a bond? What do you mean, why was he out without a bond? A person is innocent until proven guilty. And, he wasn't like, it wasn't a death thing. It was like abuse. This is a lot of abuse. And if you look up the 3 charges that he was found guilty on, it wasn't like abuse, you guys. I'm just letting you know. Okay. So Tracy is his wife, Timothy and Tracy. Tracy left the courtroom in tears with no comment. Okay. And then they said Tim turned down a 2-year plea deal, and he's headed to jail waiting his upcoming sentence, which will be November the 16th. You guys, you can't even make this stuff up. This guy really, I want to share some with you. So let me find it. And I'll find it on my phone. I will. I'll find it on my phone. I just want you guys to hear some of this. Let me hear some of let me let you guys hear something. Listen to this. Here we go. Let me clear my throat. Okay, allow. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. That's cute.
Plea deal. Now he's been found guilty in all 3 charges in connection with locking his teenage son in that box-like room. Timothy Ferriter took a deep breath and blew it out right before the verdicts were read, before resuming his usual stoic demeanor.
As to count 1, we find the defendant guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged in the information.
And then he displayed no emotion at getting the worst possible news. His wife Tracy dissolving into tears. His lawyer says they didn't expect it.
We're devastated at what happened. This is a man with a life and a family and no criminal record, and he's lost his children. And we really believe that some of the ways in which the rulings were unfair to the defense.
The jury listened to 7 days of testimony, the most damaging hours of ring camera video Ferriter himself recorded of his 14-year-old son confined to a small windowless structure in the garage where he was locked in for 10 to 15 hours a day.
Well, I think that ring video, as we already discussed, is huge. They can see it for themselves. There's no question. It's not a question about credibility or perception. We know what happened because they reported it.
While Ferriter was being fingerprinted, handcuffed, and readied for jail, his wife Tracy mouthed one last message, including, "I love you." She faces her own trial for her part in the boy's confinement. Ferriter's lawyer says they plan to appeal, that the couple was at their wits' end dealing with the troubled child and tried to handle the problems themselves. Where did he get the idea to build a confinement-type room in the garage? Where did the idea even come from?
I don't have that answer for you.
Tracy Ferriter leaving the courtroom in tears with no comment. Tim Ferriter, who turned down a 2-year plea deal, headed to jail, awaiting his upcoming sentencing. So Tim Ferriter will be in a cell for the next few weeks. He'll be back here at the Palm Beach County Courthouse on November 16th to be sentenced. His wife, Tracy, her trial has yet to be scheduled. And those 4 children, including the boy victim, are all still in the custody of DCF.
Wow. That is crazy. I don't know, Miss Tina. She says, SP, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the guy that built the room, he said that he didn't feel right about building this room, so he reported it to the police. I'm going to go back over some of the things because like I said before, I had to literally get done with my class, but trust and believe, I wanted to go over the trial, the whole entire trial, and see exactly, what the jurors and stuff said. The jurors on Thursday found Jupiter father guilty of aggravated child abuse after police said he and his wife confined one of their 4 children to a locked room in his garage for hours at a time. The 6-person jury also found Timothy guilty of false imprisonment and child neglect. He will face his sentence on November the 16th. And you know what? He faces up to 40 years in prison. This man, hold on. Let's see.
8-foot by 8-foot room made of drywall where the couple police. How did this happen? In late 2021, Timothy and Tracy Ferriter moved back to Jupiter after 4 years living outside of Tucson. They hired a contractor to outfit their new home with a small windowless room in the garage that only locked from the outside. The contractor, identified only as Jack, reported the job to police after completing it. He thought the job was strange and that the room would be used to keep someone in against their will. On January 28th, Tracy Ferriter reported her 14-year-old child missing to the State Department of Children and Families. When police arrived at the couple's house, she said the teen had been in trouble at school the day before and had run away several times in the past. Police searched the area around the family's home in the Egret Landing neighborhood on January 28th and January 29th. When they returned to the home on January 30th, they asked to look inside. Once an officer entered, he found a small structure in the couple's garage that Tracy Ferriter said was originally built as an office for her husband, but that she now used for storage. Inside was a twin bed, children's school books, and a small camera. On January 31st, police located the missing teen nearby at their middle school. The team told police that Timothy and Tracy Ferriter often locked them in the room for up to 18 hours at a time. On February 8th, the parents were arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse and false imprisonment. They have hired a criminal defense lawyer and pleaded not guilty. Their attorney has told Jupiter Police that they ignored critical evidence in arresting the Ferriters. Circuit Court Judge Howard Coates has said he'd like the case to go to trial in early fall of 2022.
Okay, so you're right, Tina. The guy did turn them in, but it was let me make sure I put that on mute. It was the boy left. He didn't come home after school, and they found the boy at school. That's what they said. I don't know if you guys can hear as loud as I try to put it right next. Don't sound good? No, it doesn't sound good. and the sixth person on the jury also found Timothy. He was found guilty. Ferris chose not to testify in his own defense. His team relied on testimony from family, friends, and a child psychiatrist who described his behavior as misguided but not criminal. They try to say that, he do look like what does a criminal look like? He's an upstanding person. Look at him, you guys. Just look at him. Does he look like somebody that would, take your kid and lock the kid in a makeshift box inside the garage? That's what he did. So I'm going to tell you something. They really did not want a lot of publicity on this case, which made me think they was trying to keep it hush-hush. So Tracy, she is facing a separate trial on abuse allegations involving the same child. She said in the courtroom for most of her husband's trial, she did not speak to reporters as she left the courtroom. And he kind of looked at his wife like, you big dummy. I told you not to get these kids, but you wanted that money. And I'm going to tell you something. I see this all the time. I do. I see this all the time. So they're saying it gathered national attention, including live coverage by Court TV. That's why I told you guys you can go through Court TV and watch this. The state presented the testimony from the teenager at the center of the abuse allegations, the teen's older siblings and child psychiatrists who told jurors that the Ferris treatment of the child was malicious, cruel, and psychologically damaging. But perhaps the most powerful pieces of evidence were the video recordings of the child inside the garage structure. Assistant State Attorney Brianna said the state closed this case by showing jurors hours of video footage from Ring camera recordings. In the footage, the teen could be heard at times crying while alone in the structure. We had really credible witnesses' testimonies in this case, but there's absolutely nothing better than being able to show the jurors. Just watching, because listen, if there's a Ring camera, you can see this kid in there wanting to get out. They're talking about, they were trying to say that this kid wanted to be in there. That's what he wanted to do. And the kid was like, I had no choice but to go in there. Oh, Lord. And you know what? It was just damaged. They damaged themselves. So the defense said that Ferris intends to appeal the verdict. She said the defense will also seek to have Ferris placed on house arrest. We don't need no house arrest. He going to jail. He don't need house arrest. He needs jail time. Yeah, a whole child. And guess what? He went to them when he was about 1. He's 16 now, but this all took place, they got caught when he turned about 14, you know. So anyway, during the trial, the defense presented its own video evidence showing the teen playing outside and interacting with other family members while inside the home. In one video, the teen could be seen watching a college football game with Timothy, just sitting there watching the game. I think as the jurors saw in the videos that the defense presented, there was a life for the child outside of that room. That's what Murad said. Now, Murad is Timothy's attorney. And so they're trying to make it sound like Timothy was this good guy. He done lost his life. He done lost his family. He done lost his kids. Just because this kid, like it's the kid's fault. If the kid needed some counseling or something, put him in counseling. It's terrible, you guys. It's almost like the West kid. Yep. I think as the jurors saw in the videos that the defense presented, there was a life for the child outside, they said. Oh, my goodness. Regardless, the verdict, Murad said Ferris was obviously very upset, but he's respectful and appreciate the time that the juror put into this. As issues for the jury to decide was whether Ferris' actions rose to the level of child abuse or neglect. That was definitely abuse and neglect. How many of you guys think that this was abuse and neglect, or this is how we're supposed to raise our kids? Jupiter police arrested the Ferris in February 2022. Hey, check this out. 2022, and this is 2023, and we're already in October. So just a little over a year. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. A year and 5, 6, 7, 8 months. The couple kept the child confined for multiple hours. You think so, Sanja? You think so, Lisa? Tina, you think so? Hey, Soldier Guy, how you doing? In her closing remarks, Coakley describes a child's life that appeared normal to those on the outside, but inside the home was anything but normal. She spoke of a pattern of abuse behavior against the child during the Ferret's nearly 5 years in Arizona that continue about 5 to 6 weeks after the family returned to Jupiter. In late December 2021, they had lived in Palm Beach Gardens and Jupiter prior to moving west. This treatment, this systematic way in which the teen was forced to live is a crime. It's not every moment of the day. There was lots of times when they looked like a normal family. It's what happened behind closed doors is why they were in court. They said investigators described the structure after the teen ran away from home in January of 2022. The teen was found days later outside Independence Middle School. He didn't want to go home. He was like, I'm done with that. You can take me anywhere, but do not take me there. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? The teen was found days later outside Independence Middle School during their search. Police visited the Ferris home and asked to see the teen's bedroom. The search led them to the garage. This kid did exactly what he's supposed to do. He was like, you know what? I am not going back. They can come look for me, and when they find me, I'm going to tell them I ain't going back. They put me in jail in the house. I got a jail cell inside that house, inside the garage, and they want to give me a bucket to pee in. They want to give me a mattress lay on. I barely can eat it. And the only thing that they're feeding me is peanut butter sandwiches. You guys, I'm not lying. This is what he said. and he would take his lunch to school. He would have a peanut butter sandwich, and he would have a piece of fruit or something, you know, and maybe something to drink, and that's it. That was his lunch. That was his lunch all the time. And Tracy would make his lunch, and he wanted snacks. He wanted really good snacks, but he didn't get the snacks like all the other kids, and he said that too. Now, I did listen to his testimony because, you know, yeah, took the stand. Yeah, he took the stand. He took the stand, and that's what I was waiting on to hear. So on the ceiling in the garage, in the bedroom, or not bedroom, but in the box, because they don't call it a bedroom, they call it a box. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's easy to build. Okay, if you put like in the garage, on the side of the garage, you already have the garage walls, 2 walls, and then you just put 2 more walls up, which would take you lesser than a day to do. But it had a door on there, but the doorknob and the door lock was on the outside instead of the inside. So the kid couldn't come out when he wanted to. He can turn the knob, but the knob won't turn because it's locked from the outside instead of the inside. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of weird because I don't know why the guy said that. He was kind of, hey, there's something going on. They got a locked room in there. And the woman was like, oh no, they must have knew what they were doing wrong. Why do I say they must have knew? Because they knew the lie. When you know the lie, that tells a person you knew you were doing wrong. I told my little girl, I told her that, you can't just don't eat food in your bedroom because, I don't want roaches. Just because you here don't mean the roaches got to come too. I don't want roaches. So if you want to eat, there's a whole kitchen in there. There's a whole table in there. You go sit at the table and eat your food. Do not bring the food in the bedroom where you're going to leave a plate on the floor or on your dresser and we're going to have bugs. So one day I was laying in the bed and I seen her walk by and she looked at me like, hey, Mom. And she went on in her room and something said, you get up and see what she's doing. It's a little quiet in there. So, I tiptoed, got up, went to the bedroom door, and I hurried up and opened up the door. And she had just stuck her hand in the bag of tater chips, and not a little baby bag, not an individual bag. This is a big family bag of tater chips. It's sitting right in front of the TV. She didn't have time to hide it, cover it up. She had her hand in the bag, and she just looked at me like, and I'm thinking to myself, and I asked her, what are you doing? She said, just watching TV. And so I say, okay, so why do you got food in your room? And she says, I don't know. I said, now you know better, right? She said, yes. I say, you know you're wrong for bringing the food in your room. She said, I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. I said, yeah, you knew something was wrong with it. Because how did you get the bag of chips in your room? You just walked by and I seen you and I didn't see no bag of chips. She said, I hid them behind my back. She stuck them in her shirt behind her back. So when I seen her, all I seen in front of her, she said, hey, hi, Mom. And she went on in her room. I didn't see the back of her. So she get in the room. She's like, hey, I'm good. So you hid them because you knew it was wrong. If you didn't think nothing was wrong about it, you wouldn't have hid them. You would have walked in front of the bedroom saying, hey, Mom, I'm just going to go in my room and hang out and eat some chips. Now, is it wrong? Like, is it a crime to eat chips in the room? No. But, okay, you got to have rules and regulations because if you don't want roaches, and this is what I tried to tell her, I don't mind if you would, but I know how lazy you are, and you're going to have dishes in your room, and then when roaches come, it's going to be hard to get rid of. And that's a lot of money. So if you was a more responsible person, and right now you're showing me that you're not responsible because you made a bad decision, because you didn't work for this home, you're not respecting it. Only thing you're thinking of is yourself. You want chips, but you can have all the chips you want, but go in the kitchen and sit down with you a bowl and eat you some chips. You're going to get lazy and sit in front of the TV in your room, go to sleep, and then we're going to have rats and roaches. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to be like, oh, Mom, I'm scared to go to sleep in my room because there's a roach or there's a rat running around. No, you're causing havoc in my home, and I don't want to live like that. I just don't. You know? And you should respect your own home too. I'm just telling you guys, sometimes, and you know what? I just took the chips from her, and now you're on punishment because that is called lying. That is called lying. Yes, Freddie said, yes, as parents, we have rules and we have regulations, and maybe kids may not understand, but these people, they were doing the utmost. They were worse than the kid. That doesn't mean you can lock them. Okay, if you locked them in the bedroom, would have been better than locking them in a box. Lock them in the bedroom where there's a window they can get out just in case there's a fire. They can come out and use the bathroom or something. Knock on the door. Hey, can you let me out so I can use the bathroom? That's better than just locking them up. And the way that this guy, that's what I want you guys to hear. The way that he talked to this kid, I want you guys to hear it. I'm going to have to find a piece, just a little piece of when he was talking to the kid, when they were showing the video, he was laughing at the kid and was clapping. Oh, yeah, good job. Way to go. Da-da-da-da-da. Woo-woo-woo. Let me see if I can find him. Let me see if I can find him. Let me see if I can find him. Let me see.
Room built into the garage?
It was built inside the garage.
Inside the garage?
Yes.
Who built that? Or who had it built?
Timothy hired a contractor to build it in December of 2021.
Right. How do you...
Now, this is the kid talking on the stand. This is the kid. I think this kid I think he's from Asian descent, you guys, but he doesn't speak no kind of, of that language. He speaks very clear English, and they're not deciphering his language. This is him actually speaking.
And how do you know that?
Because I was kept in their closet and I overheard the conversation of them having to build it. The floor was concrete, but I used these little 16 by 16 inch mats of carpet to put down on the floor, so it wasn't so hard.
So this is the victim.
So, okay, let me find. I want to find. They're talking about. Hold on. I want to find where. Okay, here it is right here. Oh, hold on. Oh my God.
Understood where people.
Oh my goodness, this is terrible. I want to find a video where he was talking to the kid in the box, and he was mocking him. He was like, "Way to go! You're this, you're that." I was like, "Oh my God, this man, man!" I'm gonna tell you guys. Let me see. Tracy was looking all weird. This is atrocious. Let me see. I'm trying to look for that video where he was talking to the kid. I couldn't believe it. The way he was talking to the kid. I'm gonna have to find it. I thought that was it right there. Let me see if I can find it over here.
as to whether he will testify in his own behalf or not.
He has made a decision, Your Honor.
And what is that decision?
He will not be testifying.
Okay, so let's hand the mic to Mr. Ferriter. Mr. Ferriter, if you could start off by, you can be seated if you'd like, sir. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. Go ahead and state your name and date of birth, please.
Tim Ferriter, 4/17/75.
All right, and you read, write, and understand English, sir?
I do.
And what's your highest level of education?
College degree.
All right, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or other medications this morning?
I'm not.
Have you ever been treated for any mental or emotional condition?
I have not.
All right, and just to give you the context of why I'm conducting this colloquy, as you've heard, your attorneys advised me that you've made a decision whether to testify or not. And so, as I mentioned yesterday, I need to make sure that that decision is being made by you knowingly and intelligently, freely and voluntarily. So that's where these questions are intended to go to put me in a position where I can make a factual finding on those items. You understand all that, sir?
I do.
All right, you're represented by your attorneys, Ms. Murad and Mr. Wahid in this matter?
Yes, sir.
And are you satisfied with their services?
I am.
All right, and have they done everything that you've asked them to do regarding the presentation of your trial and consideration of whether for you to testify on your own behalf or not?
They have.
All right, and have you had a full opportunity to discuss with your attorneys the pros and the cons and the risk and the consequences of
They're just reading his stuff. Thank you, PS. Thank you for the super chat, you guys. Let me look for this, and I'm going to share this super chat. Thank you, PS, for the super chat. Okay, so you guys, and if you really want to know, you can look this up on Law and Crime also. I'm looking for, oh my goodness, it's terrible. I think this is it right here. They're just looking at the kid while he's in that room. Here we go. Thank you, PS. I put your name on the call-in points. I watched so many cases, but this one took the cake. This one was horrible. Yeah, it was. And we will be talking about it. Oh, the wife is sitting there in the, oh my goodness, you guys. You guys are not going to believe it. This wife is something else. She's sitting there like have pity on her. Like what the heck?
Do you know Ross? Yeah. You like our house? You can hear my voice, right?
Did you hear her say you can hear my voice, right? They're talking to him through the Ring camera. And he's a kid. And I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to stop this for a minute. Because I'm going to say this. And I did not know this. I'm just now looking at this. But they believe in God, right? And so when people tell you, I believe in God, just remember something. They might do believe in God, but it's not the same God that you are talking about, and they're talking about a whole different God. But sitting right next to her is this African American priest. So they got to be Catholic. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's just allegedly they're Catholic, but the father of the Catholic Church is sitting there with Tracy. I'm just not understanding this. And I guess that he's supportive of Timothy and Tracy. I'm sitting there looking, go like, what the heck?
You like our house? Okay, so I'm still not. You can hear my voice, right? I don't really come in that one.
He's a kid. She's saying, take your shoes off, go in your room. And the other kids they keep in the house. This judge is looking at this like unbelievable. You know what's so weird? They're letting them look at it, but they won't let us look at it because the other kids. This judge is not wanting to even look at it.
December 30th, 2021.
They're showing the beautiful part when the kids would sit down and unbelievable. That was the defense showing how he interact with the kids and all of that.
We now go live to Taylor Hernandez.
Taylor, you spoke with a juror who described this emotional trial as draining.
Draining and emotional is exactly how both of the jurors I spoke with described the grueling 7 days of testimony in this case. Grueling days of testimony, but their verdict was swift. They tell me they were pretty much on the same page from the time they went back into the deliberation room, but they did still take multiple votes. Inside the deliberation room, I'm told the only hang-up was whether Timothy Ferriter should be convicted of aggravated child abuse or the lesser charge. However, that juror agreed with the hefty felony charge after rewatching some of the victim's sister's testimony. The victim in this case, the Ferriter's now 16-year-old son, took the stand in defense of his father. One woman on the jury telling me, quote, visually, you could see there was abuse. Palm Beach County Attorney Spencer Cooven does not have any affiliation to this case, but told me it's common for childhood abuse survivors to defend their abuser.
You find that they have this emotional attachment even to their abuser. And even though the abuse is heinous and awful and can involve things like locking them in a room and doing what they've done to this child, the emotion takes over.
Wow. And that is so true.
Despite the draining trial process, one of the jurors I spoke with told me, quote, it was worth it to get justice for the victim. As for Tracy Ferriter's upcoming trial, a date has not been set, but the attorney you just heard from, Spencer Cooven, told me if she was his client, the strategy would be to blame it all on her husband, Timothy Ferriter, or to look into a plea deal, something that her husband declined. Live in West Palm Beach.
Did you guys hear that?
CF 25 News.
He said if he was her attorney, she needs to take a plea deal or blame it on the husband because she'll get a better deal. I'm letting you guys know this is how this stuff works. You know what? I will have it. And here's the thing, you guys. I promise you, I do got to do some homework tonight at work. But, when I get sick and tired of doing homework, I'm going to record it myself. The pieces I want you guys to see. And by come Monday, we're going to go over this trial. We're going to go over the pieces. I want you guys to interact with me. This is Friday, so just relax. Some people got paid today and some people got paid little and some people didn't get paid at all. This is just one of those days. We're in the middle of the month and this is just the way it is. But you guys, I want to thank you guys, especially PS, for coming in here supporting the channel financially. You guys, I just want you to come on in. It don't have to be a money thing. Just come on in, share the live. You can learn something. You can learn what to do, not to do. When you see something, turn it in. See something, say something. It's all about the children over here. Okay? So you guys be good, be safe, and be nice to each other. Bye.